Officer George took aim at the front tire of the fleeing vehicle and pulled the trigger, only to find out the tires were bulletproof. His partner John, seeing the situation, suggested trying the other side. George fired a shot at the right tire, but the result was the same. Realizing they couldn't blow out the tires, George leaned out of the car window and aimed at the glass on the truck's rear door, only to discover that the glass was also bulletproof. Just as George was about to shoot again, a steel ball suddenly dropped from the truck. Fortunately, John's quick reflexes allowed him to swerve and avoid the danger. However, when George looked back, the steel ball that had rolled away suddenly turned around and sped back towards their car at lightning speed. George immediately raised his rifle, aimed at the steel ball, and pulled the trigger. The explosion was incredibly powerful, and it was only then that the two men realized the steel ball was actually a tracking bomb. Just then, their backup arrived not far away, with a Vulcan minigun mounted on their vehicle. The two men felt a sense of dread, and John hastily grabbed the walkie-talkie to stop their colleagues from firing, but the wind was too loud, and they couldn't hear the radio at all. As the truck's speed kept increasing, the distance between the two vehicles closed to 100 meters. Their colleagues aimed the gun at the truck, checked the ammunition, and pulled the trigger, unleashing a hail of bullets. However, the truck's armor was beyond expectations. The truck, not about to let them off easy, dropped another steel ball bomb. John and George watched helplessly as their colleague's pickup truck was blown into the air. Unexpectedly, another steel ball bomb came flying towards them. Unable to dodge in time, the two were blasted onto the nearby grass. Luckily, the quality of their police car was good, and they only suffered minor injuries. But now, the truck appeared not far away again. Officer George quickly got out of the car, and John handed him a hunting rifle. At this moment, the cannibal emerged from the truck, forcing the two officers to lie low in the grass like Voldemort. John told George to cover him while he went to operate the Vulcan minigun. Splitting up was the only way to avoid being caught by the cannibal at the same time. The cannibal, wielding an axe, walked towards George, easily blocking bullets with the axe. George fired another shot, but it only hit the cannibal's hat, infuriating him. The cannibal pulled out a dart and threw it at George. When George picked up his gun, he found the muzzle had been shattered by the dart. The cannibal was slowly closing in, leaving George with no choice but to pull out his handgun. At this point, John had reached the Vulcan minigun. He told George to leave, saying he would handle the cannibal alone. With great effort, he loaded the ammunition, but the minigun jammed. The cannibal was rapidly approaching, leaping into the air and spreading huge wings. At the critical moment, John finally turned the gun around and began firing fiercely.